All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies class course, I've been creating a series of video presentations based on the Mozilla Developer Network's Learn Web Development series. And I'm in the HTML part talking about multimedia and embedding and looking at video and audio files. All right. As they mention here, there's a number of other features that you can include when you display a video. Now, so what's new? Well, this autoplay means basically that you want it to start up immediately. All right. We'll go through all of them in just a second. The poster would say that you get, as it says, the poster this isn't a great example, but a lot of times if you're going to post, you're going to put in a movie, let's say an actual movie that's out there, and that movie has a poster, while it's loading at least, you'd have all that stuff back there. All right. So as it says, the new features, width and height to control the size of the attributes. Autoplay, as it says, to make it start playing right away while the rest of the page is loading. Loop will allow it to play over and over again. All right. And as it says, this can't be annoying, so only use it if necessary. Muted causes the media to play with the sound turned off by default. Poster I've already mentioned. Preload rather, as they say, is used for buffering large files. All right, so again, large files can take a while to load. All right, that's pretty much it for video, but audio is going to have a lot of the same types of things. You know, and let's face it, what's hot today? Well, podcasts. So, a podcast is an episodic series of spoken word digital audio files that the user can download to a personal device for easy listening. Quite often what people will do is that podcasts in some ways have replaced music for some people in their car, you know, what they have on the radio. They listen to podcasts instead. All right. Notice here it says that it's a digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or a mobile device. All right. And a lot of people today, a lot of celebrities, a lot of sports people, etc., have their own podcasts as a way to give them more of a social type of presence. So the audio element, as mentioned right there, works just like the video element, but there are differences. There are differences in type, all right, etc. This looks very similar to what we saw before, except before it was video and MP4 and video and OGG. Now it's audio and MP3 and audio and OGG. All right, but again, it's going to show something like this, so there won't be any picture. And if you put in controls, you know, for the audio, you're going to have this, which is you better have. And what is this? Start and work with sound. But there's other things that you can add as well. It says you can run the audio demo live. So there it is. And you can see the source code. I can bring it up, but it's going to look pretty much just like this. So, as it says, this takes up less space than a video player because there is no visual component to it. You just need the controls. Other differences, as mentioned right there, audio doesn't support height and width attributes. It also doesn't have a poster because, again, it's audio. There is no video type of component to it. Other than that, they're pretty much identical to one another. All right. So it says here, next we'll discuss a slightly more advanced concept that is really useful to know about. Many people can't or don't want to hear the audio video content they find on the web. And they give you some examples. Well, first of all, if you're deaf, it's not going to, give you much as far as having something audio. All right, they may only be able to hear it muffled. They may not be able to hear it at all. All right. as it says, if you're in an environment like if you're at a game, if you're at a sports game, is the pandemic is we're allowing crowds to return. And you try, if you've ever done this, I know people who do that. They'll take radio with them to the game, and they're listening to the people up in the booth broadcast as they're watching the game itself. All right, it may not be conducive to being able to hear audio tracks. In environments where having the audio would be a distraction or a disruption, they've got here such as a library or when a partner is trying to sleep. Well, how about also in a classroom? I mean, I've had times when there are labs, and if a student doesn't remember his or her headphones, and they're playing an audio cast, it's a distraction at best. All right, so it says, wouldn't it be nice to provide these people with a transcript of what is being spoken? Thanks to HTML video, you can do that. To do so, you use the WebVTT format and the track element. And they go through this. I'm not going to run through this with you. But again, the nice thing about this is there are people who would prefer rather than listening to something to have a text copy, or maybe they would like a text copy so that they can follow along with what's being said in a video copy. So they go through this example, and I'm not going to run through it with you. There it is. Now, I think subtitles are a nice thing. For years, I've been being told that I have to provide subtitles. I guess until someone forces me to do so, I won't. But they're a nice thing to have. I sometimes use them, especially because a lot of the videos that I watch online are made by people who are unbelievably knowledgeable. But English may not be their first language, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand some of the stuff that they have to say. It's not that the content is bad. No, the content is exemplary. It's very good, but sometimes it's hard to understand what they're saying. All right, so they ask you to come in there and embed your own audio and video. I think that we'll call it a wrap here. So far, we have gone through the images and the audio and video. Now, some of what's mentioned in the next one here, the from object to iframe, I've already shown you. Not a problem. But we'll go through this. We'll go through the adding vector graphics and the responsive images, and then we'll take a look quickly at this Mozilla splash page. Not sure if we're going to run through it or not. 6 total lessons in here, 2 down, 4 to go. All right, so I'll come back and start talking about from object to iframe and other embedding technologies in just a couple moments.